Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about me and what motivates me to make these videos. So let's get into it. So the question in question was pretty much that. Frederick, what motivates you to make all of these programming videos? And the short answer is leaving the world better than I found it. I know that's a corny answer, but it is true. It is literally the thing at the for the most part, at the very least, what I do this for. I'm not sure how I should develop that any further. The reason I started doing this originally was because of this very thing. I thought, all right, I'm very passionate about my coding and my profession as a programmer. I love it more than I can express in words. It is my job and it is one of my main pastimes. So in many ways I like to say that I feel as lucky as a footballer or a athlete or a celebrity or some person like that, you're a singer, whichever, right? Someone who has found a way to make something that is their passion into their into their job as well. I really, for me, it feels like the only difference between me and these famous athletes is that they get paid a lot more and are a lot more famous than I am, but I get to live the same sort of life. I go to work every single day happy that I'm going to work. I don't think I've ever been in a situation, it's very rare at the very least, that I feel like, oh, I would like just to stay in bed today. My problem is that I can't sleep for long enough because I'm so excited to wake up the next day so I can start working on something or making a video or something like that. I have so much energy from this. So that is like my personal benefit from it, that I actually gain a lot of energy from doing this. But it really comes down to that. Honest to God, I have had so many questions around why don't you monetize your channel? Why don't you start cutting deals with these different publishers and so forth? I know that a few of the larger channels have asked me, can you make videos for us and we will publish your content? And I kind of go, I'm very flattered that you offer all these things, so forth. But there I see, I don't want to do that because I actually do have, well, a personal agenda at the very least with this thing. I want to feel like this is something that I made, and this is a hobby. This channel of mine, it is a hobby for that exact reason, because I want to see what works and I want to see what doesn't work. I will gladly be the first one to admit that a lot of the quality of my videos could be a lot better. And the second someone comes along and helps me in the same fashion that I try to help you guys, I will gladly listen to this advice and I will try to adjust and so forth. You may have heard about me fucking up some of the video content at one point or another, which is where I just try something out and it doesn't really work out. And trust me, this is not the first time, it's not going to be the last time I do that. I'm very sorry to say. But overall, I try to adhere and listen to like the advice people give me on these videos. But the thing is, like the biggest part of this for me is, and this is the thing that's so hard for some people to understand. It seems like that anyway, because everybody seems to assume that the only thing I care about, or at the very least the primary thing that I care about, is how many people can I get to watch this. And that's the thing, that's not the important part. When I was invited to the Node Summit, they said that exact thing. Like I was explaining to them that there is a reason why I don't ask you to subscribe to my channel, or that I don't try to push or plug all that much. I might do that at some point. I might completely sell out. Don't worry. I might do it. Don't worry. But I'm not doing it today. And so the facilitators were asking me about that, and stated that, oh yeah, a lot of YouTubers feel uncomfortable about doing that, but it does actually help grow your channel. And I said, I know that it will help me grow my channel, but the thing is, I don't want growth. I want organic growth with the right people. And they they didn't really understand what I was saying, but I will try to explain to you in the same way I explained it to them. So you may have noticed something, because, well, maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but there's only one person so far, since I started doing this a few years ago now, who have called me out on something that you may not have realized. And that is that if you have watched practically any tech talk, ever, they always start the same way. There is a explanation of like what the title of the talk or something like that is, and then the presenter introduces him or herself, usually with a few cat emojis or gifs or something like that, right? And then they explain who they are, what they do, and what title they have, and what company they work for, etc., etc. What they're doing there is that they're building up credibility. That's what they're doing. So while they basically are explaining to you why you should listen to them. Now, there was one person a while ago who said, Fredrik, why you keep on saying that we should trust you? Why is that? You have proven nothing about yourself. We have no idea what you do, and we don't know if you actually know what you're talking about. Exactly. And some of you are going, yeah, of course. And some of you are going, And the reason is very simple, because I have never done that. I've actually never, ever started a video by saying that, oh, I work at Google, or I work at Facebook, or I work at this company over here, or I do this, or I do that. I have not once justified or tried to motivate the reason as to why you should listen to me. Because I, honest to God, don't care if you believe me when I talk or if you don't. You see, if you have been watching this channel of mine, I would like to believe that you are exactly the person that I'm after. And that is the person who has realized that the vast majority of content on the internet and TikToks and so forth is made by people who have tons of suggestions. Usually very idealistic suggestions, or suggestions around how to do things in a better way or so forth. There's tons of these people who will give you all kinds of advice. Now, the interesting part is that it doesn't actually matter all that much what level of experience they have and the level of proficiency they have within their area. They're simply publishing and saying that you should do this, you should do that, you should, etc., etc. And at some point you will realize that a lot of this advice and a lot of this stuff is just bullshit. It's just a waste of time. There's so many people out there from sometimes some very prestigious companies who just keep on telling you things that are simply not true for the average programmer. It's just not it's not the reality of the situation. So what I would like to believe at the very least is that the people who have found my little channel here without I've never done anything in terms of marketing or anything like that. They have, this is the key thing. They have found this place because they are looking for something different. That's why. And that's why I keep on making these videos, because I wanted to make something where only the people who have gone through the process of trying to actually learn what makes the IT community tick, not what everybody's selling, not what all the latest tools and trends and so forth, the thing that will actually make you into a real hardened professional, someone who really knows their stuff. The people who want to reach that point, these are the people that I want to talk to. The people who have already tried to find something that answers the real questions around their profession, and they failed because the only thing that can find is how to make a to-do app in React, or how to work with microservices, 10 top languages to pick between, all this nonsense that might be very relevant sort of to someone who is a complete beginner. But for someone who kind of knows their stuff, or is just in the start of their career, or maybe even a senior, they can hear the difference between trend talk or fluffy talk and the talk of someone who, at the least, I would like to know, and I would like to believe at the very least, knows a few things about the actual industry. And that's why I believe that this channel has reached any type of popularity, because the people who stay can hear the difference. I don't have to motivate to you. Because if you can hear that I'm full of shit, you wouldn't be sticking around. So what I want you to take away from this is that the thing that motivates me to make these videos is very simple. There's a mutual benefit, of course, because I learned things from trying to help people out. But the primary thing, and this is I'm very lucky in this regard, because I was just, I'm assuming, born or raised this way. I get a lot of enjoyment from helping people out. And the thing I was saying is very true. I really only want to leave this world better than I found it. And I can't imagine a better way of doing that, because this is practically, it's such a, I don't even want to call it, well, let's call it a sacrifice. It is a sacrifice for me to spend all this time to make this content, but I do it gladly because I do actually get a lot of energy from it almost all the time. And it keeps on motivating me because my assumption seems to have been correct. And the assumption was that I believed that if I just make content that is good, or at least what I believe to be the truth of the situation, and I actually do work in the industry, people who also can hear the difference between trend talk and fluff talk and people selling some concept that may not be realistic, to hear the difference between that and hear the difference of someone who's speaking with a voice of actual work experience, someone who actually does this every day and doesn't try to pretend like like things aren't the way they are, trying to actually address the questions and issues relevant to the people who are working as programmers, not the people who just want to do some coding. That was the assumption, and since the channel is still here, it seems to have been it's sort of accurate. It's not perfect, but it seems to be working. Have a great day.